If you watch porn more than 2 times a week, this video is going to change your life. So stick around until the end and we will reveal to you what they never taught you. The true cost of watching porn and how it is affecting your social ability, confidence and self-esteem, relationships and motivation today, and why it's so addictive. My name is Adam and this is Oscar.
And the reason we are making this video is because we have a really important message to you about porn. And in just a minute we'll tell you exactly why this video is so important, but we're also going to dig into the science of how it's affecting your brain right now. We are also going to reveal to you how you can condition your brain so you will be completely free from porn in the next 7 days. But first, Adam has his story to share with you.
So I think I started watching porn when I was about 12 to 13 years old, and I started off when I found some commercial magazine in my home with some bikini models in it. And I still remember the first time I found that magazine and I saw those gorgeous women in it, and my mind was just completely blown. And right there at age 12 I started whacking off to bikini models, and I think at the age of about 15, 16, something like that, I got access to high-speed internet, and that's when things started escalating for me, and I started watching softcore porn about 4 to 5 times a week, and I didn't think twice about it, right? It's something that every guy does in that age, especially from my generation. And yeah, so I didn't think twice about it, but it heavily affected me during those years. And I had social anxiety, I had extreme concentration problems. I remember I used to sit in school and I remember thinking to myself that, oh shit, I need to get tested for ADD, because I thought that I had it. And you know, I would never ever have thought that porn was something that could cause concentration problems or anything like that. And I also had I was nervous around women, and I was nervous around people in general. And I had, as I said, social anxiety, and I had motivation problems as well. I mean, I had no energy whatsoever because I had, I watched porn so much that it drained my energy. So I had no energy, and I was getting behind in school and stuff like that because I just didn't want to go. Why would I go? And porn is much more exciting than school as well. So I would much rather be home, watch porn than go to school. That's how it was. And my porn addiction hadn't even escalated. A lot of people, they go in and they watch, hardcore porn where people get abused and stuff like that. But I hadn't even escalated to that, but still I had these side effects. So I think this went on, and my social anxiety got worse, my anxiety got worse, and it went on until I was about 19 years old. And I was just sitting at the computer someday and just watching cat videos and failure compilations, or whatever you do when you're 19 on the internet, right? And somehow I ended up on a blog with a guy that was talking about porn and how it affected your brain, how it affected your motivation, and how it affected every area of your life. And it was science-backed. So they had done studies on this on Cambridge University and everything like that, and they had done brain scans where they compared cocaine addicts to porn addicts, and they had exact same patterns. And right there in that moment, everything clicked for me. I understood that I didn't have ADHD. It was just that my brain was completely screwed up from watching porn, and my social anxiety was not because I was a weird person. It was just because of porn had caused the social anxiety, and the motivation was not because I was a bad person. It was again because of porn, and it just clicked, and I understand it, and I understood all those events in my life and where it came from, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop this, and I'm gonna stop this right now. But it's easier said than done, and I think it took me 1.5 years to stop, because I've been watching for so long, and I've been conditioning my brain for so long that I had become addicted to it. And you know, I'm a person of considerable willpower because I quit smoking in 2-3 attempts, something like that, and I never smoked again, and I was addicted to nicotine and smoking. But this, I just could not stop. And I tried pretty much everything you can imagine. I went to therapy, I went to, you know, I even bought this electric pen at a supermarket, and I tried to taste myself to get my brain to associate negative emotions with porn, and it didn't work. Nothing worked. Until one day, 1.5 years after I decided to quit, I discovered what we built the program at Freedom from Pornography from, and I discovered how I could create new neural connections and new neural pathways in my brain very fast through accelerated learning to be able to stop this addiction faster than ever imagined. And it took me actually 3 days. After I discovered this method, it took me 3 days before I was completely free, and I didn't have that urge to go and watch porn. The human brain is a network of approximately 100 billion neurons. Different experiences create different neural connections, which brings about different emotions. And depending on which neurons get stimulated, certain connections become stronger and more efficient, while others become weaker. This is what's called neuroplasticity, and this is how you condition your brain.
So, Adam, how come porn is so addictive?
Well, the reason why porn is so addictive is because if you look at what a human is designed to do, they're designed to, 1, survive, and they're also designed to 2, procreate. And the way that your brain is rewarded is through dopamine. So every time you have an opportunity to procreate, your brain releases a huge amount of dopamine to make you remember that moment so you can go back and repeat it, right? So what happens when you watch porn is that you go and you see 10 beautiful naked women, right? And back in the days, you know, thousands of years ago, we were lucky if we saw 2 hot babes in our entire lifetime, and now we see, you know, 10 hot babes in 10 minutes. So our brain releases a huge amount of dopamine because we think that we hit the evolutionary jackpot, and that rewires your brain to go back to achieve that pleasure again. And that's why it's so addictive, because it releases so much dopamine. And when you watch porn, your brain also releases another chemical that's called delta phos B. And delta phos B's job is basically to help you rewire your brain faster, to create that pattern so that you go back and achieve that pleasure. So every time you watch porn, you release dopamine and you release delta phos B that heavily and deeply rewires your brain to go back and achieve that pleasure. And that is why it becomes so addictive. And that is also why it becomes so hard often for people to break it using willpower, because their brains are working against them. Their brain wants to achieve that pleasure and you don't, and your brain's gonna win every time.
A lot of people says that when they watch porn and afterwards they can experience that they're actually a little bit low on energy. So can you tell me how that is?
Yeah, so what happens after you watch porn is that you've released a huge amount of dopamine, and so your dopamine reserves are completely depleted. So, you know, everything else in life becomes really dull and boring, and this becomes permanent over time as well, because you're constantly releasing a huge amount of dopamine, and you're increasing that threshold for how much dopamine you need to be able to feel pleasure. So for me, example, when I was watching porn, I was, you know, becoming almost depressed because life was just boring and gray, and porn was super exciting because porn was the only thing that gave me that dopamine hit that I was accustomed to be able to feel pleasure.
Also, when it comes to porn, social confidence is something that a lot of guys actually lack. So the confidence for like approaching a woman, for instance.
Yeah, exactly. And I think for me, that had a lot to do with porn, and I think for thousands of guys as well, you know, they report that when they start watching porn, their social anxiety just goes out the window, and especially their anxiety around women, because what porn does is that it creates this really weird view of how you interact with women, and you start to view people as objects. And Terry Crews, the famous actor, told that as well when he talked about his porn addiction, is that he saw people as objects. And yeah, I mean, it becomes really hard to interact with people, and you get anxious when you don't really know how to interact with them because they're kind of objects and kind of distant. So it really shapes that as well, and shapes your view of women and other people, and that's what creates that social anxiety. So when I started watching porn, my natural social ability and my natural ability to interact with women and people came back only a couple of weeks after I quit. So it was really, really fast. And a lot of guys experience the exact same thing. You know, 15, 20 days after they stop watching porn, they're back in the game.
You've also made a lot of research.
Yeah.
So what are the main things that you actually discovered through this research?
Yeah, so what we did is that we actually, Freedom from Pornography issued research where we had over 2,500 people answer 65 questions about their porn use. So we collected over 140,000 answers, and what we discovered was shocking but not really surprising. We discovered very strong correlations between frequency of porn use with things as confidence, social ability, even memory and stuff like that. So for example, we noticed that if you watch porn more than twice a week, you're up to 69% less happy and satisfied in your life. And that again has to do with the dopamine levels, right? Because you higher your threshold for what is required to make you feel you know, pleasure and happy and stuff like that. We also discovered this, that people that watch porn more than twice a week have up to 22% lower memory than people that don't watch porn. And we also discovered, you know, with social, as we've talked about, is that we noticed that if you watch porn more than twice a week, you're up to 49% more likely to have social anxiety. So we noticed these things and these correlations between, you know, the more you watch porn, the lower confidence you have, the lower social ability you have, the less happy you are, etc., etc. And the less you watch porn, the higher all these things go. So we discovered, you know, really strong correlations in this research and in this data, which was really, really fascinating.
Oh, cool. So Adam,
yes.
Now we're talked about dopamine and delta fast B.
Yeah.
So how is this tied to your research and your system?
Well, we developed our system to be able to break the pattern that has been forming in your brain as fast as possible. Because if you look at your porn habit or your porn addiction, all it is a reinforced neural pattern in your brain that has been shaped, you know, time and time and time again. And what our system does is that it helps you to create new neural connections in your brain faster than ever, that associates or that trains your brain to associate negative emotions with porn. So it becomes, porn to you becomes, you know, as something else you don't like. For me, example, I don't like pickles. So if someone, you know, offers me pickles, I say, no thanks, that's not my thing. So that's what porn becomes for you. So you don't have that urge anymore to watch porn. And we do this through brain training exercises. So we through imagination and through exercises, we create new neural pathways in your brain, and we strengthen them until they become automatic. Because your brain always tries to conserve energy. So if you use a pattern often enough, your brain will switch and it will say, okay, we'll just run this pattern on automatic to conserve energy. So our system is extremely effective, and we've had over 92% of all our clients say that within 7 days they have no urge to watch porn. And that's why or the reason for that is because these brain training exercises are so effective at creating new neural pathways that associate strong, you know, negative emotions with porn, so that people never again have to have that urge or feel that they're not in control of their porn habit.
So why actually did you choose to create your own one?
Well, first of all, most of the programs that are out there are, you know, they are 30, 60, 90 days, and it's almost like you have to get a PhD in porn addiction to be able to quit it. And if you're gonna have a program that's 90 days, a lot of people give up, so you don't have a lot of success rate. And I was one of those persons. You know, I went through a lot of different programs, but none of them worked because it was so slow and it was so ineffective. So that's why I decided to create a program that was fast, effective, and that could help as many people as possible. Because if you have a program that is 90 days long, if you know half of the people drop out because it's so long and so complicated, then you're not going to be able to help as many people. And the reason I started, or why I you know created the program as well, is because I looked at the pure statistics, right? So 25% of all searches online are for porn, right? That's the fourth most common reason for going online at all. And then I also looked at Pornhub statistics, and I think it was about their 7th most searched keyword were like an animated monster, like it was really weird. And that tells me that there's so many people that have an escalating behavior, which is one of the key indicators in an addiction, is that it escalates because you need more stimulus. So you start watching, you know, weird stuff just to get that shock. You know, my conclusion is that there's so many people out there that have this problem, they're addicted to it, they can't get out of it, and I also know that they have social anxiety, that they have low motivation, low energy, concentration problems and stuff like that. And the thing is that a lot of people might not even know that they have it because they've had it for so long. You know, they watch porn for, you know, 7 years, 5 years, 3 years. So they have no reality for a perspective, right? So all they know is to have social anxiety, and if they just pull out porn from their life, it's gonna they're not gonna have it anymore. But yeah, I think it's hard for people to understand how it's affecting them because they have become so accustomed to the side effects. They just accept it for the way their life is, but in reality, it's porn that is causing all these things. So that is why I founded Freedom from Pornography, and that is why I decided that this program is gonna go out to the world and it's gonna help millions of people. The Freedom from Pornography in this system is all about giving you access to the most advanced brain technology and evidence-based methodology to help you break free from the habit of watching porn faster than you can ever imagine, as well as upgrading your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors in other areas of your life that might have suffered from watching porn. And for me, when I was addicted to watching porn, you know, a system like this would have been worth thousands of dollars for me. And Freedom from Pornography has taken over a year of work and over $25,000 to develop this program and bring it to market. But we're willing to give it to you to an affordable price because our mission is to impact millions of lives all over the world. So we're willing to offer it to you here today on this page further down, not for $500, not for $200 or anything like that. We're willing to offer it to you for only $67 today, and you will get access to the complete Freedom from Pornography brain training system. And 10 days from now, you'll be completely free from your porn habit and your porn addiction, and you'll be able to experience the exact same benefits as hundreds of thousands of other guys and people all over the world has from quitting porn. And you'll notice your motivation increasing, your happiness will come back, your social ability will come back, and many other things. So take action today, get the program, get your porn habit out of your life and reclaim your energy, your life, your motivation, and your social ability. So hopefully we'll see you in our members area. See you. Ciao. Still here? Listen, I know you're skeptical. When I was searching for an answer, it took me time to make a decision too. And that's why I want you to know that I will be with you all the way. This is a complete system and I'm not leaving you on your own. In our system, you'll get access to a community of like-minded individuals, and we'll be standing ready to answer all your questions in any point in time. Our fantastic team of researchers are also discovering new ways to train your brain even faster to get the life you want. As a Freedom from Pornography insider, I'll give you the latest programs that they've developed so far for free, but only if you take action today. And what are these programs, you may wonder? Well, these are some of the things that are waiting for you inside. Attracting Women Pack, $97 value. 5 specifically designed brain training audios to give off the right signals to women. Listen, finding yourself a girlfriend can be a challenge, no matter how confident or successful you are in other parts of your life. Our 5 specifically targeted audios will also enable you to chat to women with ease and show the best of yourself in all situations. Social Excellence Pack, $97 value. The one thing that will ease your social anxiety is being relaxed. Not blissed out lying on the beach relaxed, but relaxed enough to leave a little bit of headspace to come up with the funnies or be topical or simply enjoy being part of a group. Get from feeling awkward to feeling awesome in the company of others. 5 sessions with our audios and you will feel like a social rock star. Total Self-Confidence, $97 value. No matter where you are in your life, sometimes your confidence could do with a little bit of help. Maybe you're facing a new situation, be it work, school, home life, and you'd like to feel more capable, more calm, and less anxious. You could simply paper over the cracks or put a brave face on, but that strategy is not going to work long term, and you are missing building some skills that could really make a difference in your life. Our program retrains the beliefs in your mind, so the process of building confidence is effortless and enjoyable. Personal Motivation Pack, $97 value. Train your unconscious mind to deliver all the personal motivation that you need. Why is it that personal motivation can ebb and flow like the tides? One day you're full of energy and focus for that project, and the next you can barely bring yourself to even think about it. Get consistent motivation throughout your entire life with this motivation pack. Pretty cool, huh? So you'll get the complete Freedom from Pornography system valued at $500. And on top of that, I'm throwing in the Attracting Women Pack, Social Excellence Pack, Total Self-Confidence Pack, and Personal Motivation Pack. Listen, all these are $97 courses, but since you're here right now, I'm going to give it to you for free. So the total value of everything included is $888, and this will give you today for only $67. So don't wait around, take action now. Get inside and we'll talk soon.